So this evening is the initiation ceremony, and therefore, before we begin, I wanted to do the Ajman. Do you have a cup there? Yeah. Okay, put the spoon down, put it down, yeah. Take the spoon in the right hand and throw some water in your right hand. Yeah, that's it. Perfect. Throw it. Not on your clothes, it's on the floor. Not finished. No. Take that spoon again. Now throw 3 drops in your left hand. 1, 2, 3. And throw it on the floor. Yeah, good. No, only once. Just throw it. Yeah. Keep your spoon. Put the spoon in your left hand. Throw 3 drops in your right hand. Throw. Okay, again. 3 drops in your right hand. Look at the water. Lift up your hand. Sip Om Keshavaya Namaha.
Om Keshavaya Namaha.
3 drops in your right hand and throw. 3. Yeah. Again. 3 drops in your right hand. Look at the water, lift it up. Sip Om Narayana Namaha.
Om Narayana Namaha.
Sip 3 drops and throw. And again 3 drops. And zip Om Madhavaya Namaha. And 3 drops and throw. And then chant after me. Om Pavitra Pavitrova Sarvavasta Yato Piva Yasmare Undrikaksam Sabaya Yantara Suchi Shri Vishnu Shri Vishnu. Before we continue, let me explain what we're going to do. So first we're doing the Sankalpa, and Sankalpa basically means we're discussing the purpose of the initiation and what our focus is, in other words. And then we'll do the Yajna, which invokes blessings and also the deities and personalities that we take shelter of. We'll invoke the names of Radha and Krishna. We'll invoke the names of all the Acharyas, the 6 Goswamis, and in this way, all of these personalities will help us in this initiation. It is not that during the initiation the vows are made to our present spiritual master and that we are dependent just on that relationship. Although the spiritual master remains our ongoing guide and source of support, still we're making a connection with all the previous acharyas and with Krishna as well. The spiritual master is described as Saksat Daritvena Samasta Sastra. He is the representative of Krishna. So, therefore, the vows are not taken to me. What you promised to me, maybe one day you might think, oh well, but you're not promising to me, promising to Krishna. So, if you think, oh well, to Krishna, then you're in big trouble. So, the promises are made to Krishna. The blessings are there of all the acharyas, and we are taking shelter of all the acharyas. Hare Krishna. So we begin our spiritual life, and the question is, how many rounds are you going to chant? How many, what principles are we going to follow? These are the beginning point. But gradually, there is more. Just like in the beginning, we read Bhagavad Gita, and then we will read Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we will go to Vrindavan, and we will make a connection with Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan, we will visit the temples of the 6 Goswamis. And we'll see that in Vrindavan, the 6 Goswamis are very present. Somehow or other, they were sent by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to excavate Vrindavan. Without the 6 Goswamis, we cannot really approach Vrindavan. Yeah. Tell them to told us the little pandas. Means monkeys. So the 500 years ago, a lot of Vrindavan was forgotten. It was overgrown by forest. Yes, there were some villages that were still connected with Krishna, but it was not like that all the places were known or necessarily bona fide. Some people said, definitely this pastime took place here. Someone else said, no, it took place here. Like for example, we find one place where they say, here Krishna stole the clothes of the gopis, and then there's another place also where they say, which is the real place. Rupa and Sanatana Goswami and the other members of the 6 Goswamis, they particularly established various holy places in Vrindavan. And so, when we go to Vrindavan, not only did they establish holy places, but they also established how to practice bhakti. And they said, Krishna is Akila Rasamrita Murti. He is the personality who has unlimited relations with unlimited devotees. That is Krishna. There is one Krishna and so many devotees, but Krishna is having a personal relationship with every devotee. When the cowherd boys in Vrindavan were with Krishna taking prasadam, they were sitting in a circle with Krishna, and each one saw that Krishna was looking at them. That was interesting. And how can he look at everyone at the same time? He can, he's Krishna. He can do such things. So in this way, Krishna has a personal relationship with every devotee. So that is very much there. The initiation is reawakening that relationship. In the beginning, that relationship will be there in practice. In the beginning, our practice is chanting, our practice is following principles, and then Rupa Goswami describes 64 limbs of bhakti, which are all meant for the cultivation. Many of them are relating to the deity, and others are about hearing, chanting, following a procession of the deity, making offerings to the deity according to the seasons. Seasonal fruits, seasonal things are meant to be offered to the Lord. They used to take the first grains that would come from the festival, from the fields, and offer it to the Lord with the festival. That was the tradition. Now, of course, it goes straight to the market. But traditionally, no. There first was a ceremony of, thanking the Lord, we are receiving this. That is tradition. So, it is summarized Sarvopadi vinir muktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesa sevanam bhakti uchate. This is a verse of the Narada Pancharatra. Pancharatra scriptures are scriptures that deal with ritual, and the ritual deals with, there are different kinds of Pancharatra. Some are dealing with rituals relating to various demigods, but the Bhakti Pancharatra, the Narada Pancharatra, the Bhakti Sutras, that deals with devotional service. And there it says, Sarvopadi vinir muktam. We must give up all the upadis. What is upadi? Upadis are all the identities. It is interesting, you can read the Vyasa Puja offerings of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. He wrote some really, really nice ones. And the last one was also very nice, because he was saying goodbye to all his identities, and he was saying somehow or other it was time for him to go. So he said, goodbye Johnny Boy, goodbye John, what was it, Favors, I think, Favors, goodbye John Favors, then goodbye Abdullah, that was in university, somehow or other he became Abdullah there, and then it became goodbye Ganesham, that was the name Prabhupada gave him, then goodbye Bhakti Tirtha Swami, and then goodbye Swami Krishnapad. And in this way, these were all different names that he had at different points in time. And now he was saying goodbye to all these names. And that was kind of very nice, because these were the upadi. These are the designations that we take in this world. I'm a PhD, Dr. Freud. I am whatever I am. So many things. This is my nationality, this is my education, this is my profession, this is this is the photo album, and this is this is me. All these things. This is me. This is the house where I grew up. This is me. I am that house. Be careful, because you might become a mouse in that house. So watch out. That is a risk. Yes. And you might say, well, that's not so bad, then I'll eat cheese all day. That's true, but there is one complication. The cat. So, mouse life is not always that easy. The cat can be right behind you. Anyhow, so like this, Sarva Upadi Vinir Muktam. One must liberate himself from all these upadis. It is said, our mind is like, it says in Bhagavatam, Sapacha, a co-wife, or sometimes a child. So the mind is like living with a child. We all have a mind, and it's like a child. And you know your mind is like a child, because we treat it like a child. We say, okay, if you're quiet now, then, and you sit in the class, and after you can have ice cream. Like this, we keep the mind sweet, just like a child. Yeah, same thing. So yes, there is always this mind that is tired, this mind that doesn't want anymore, this mind wants to go home, this mind doesn't want to chant, like a child. And it's like, well, if you chant now, then after you get a reward, okay. So this, we all have a mind, and this is a complication. So what to do with this mind? Somehow or other, to engage it. Simply to engage it. How to engage the mind? It's like it says, Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayo, that we should fix the mind on Krishna and always on the think about the lotus feet of Krishna. Now, easier said than done. You can from this day on, practice it. Lotus feet, lotus feet, lotus feet, Krishna, lotus feet. It's not, I mean, after a short while, it's going to be, something else. It's not so easy. Is that a phone? Maybe I put mine on silent as well. It's embarrassing when the phone is in flight mode. So just put it on flight mode or something. Yeah. Because if it keeps on ringing, Padmanabha here is my agent and he will confiscate it and will donate it to a good cause. In some programs I collect over 50 phones. It's pretty good. It's a good idea. I'm watching them. Anyhow, so Sarvakari Vinayamukta. How to free the mind from all these designations and so on. It is said by engaging the senses in the service of Krishna. Rishikena Rishikesha. We just engage our senses in the service of Krishna. That we can do. We can use our various senses. We can eat for Krishna. Prasadam, we can do. We can sing. We can walk for Krishna. We can work with our hands for Krishna. So that's something we can do. And if we do so, then the mind also goes there. Because you have to pay, if you're doing something, you have to pay some attention to it. So automatically the mind also becomes controlled by engaging the senses in Krishna. So therefore, Rishikena, Rishikesha Sevanam, Bhakti Uchate. And then, in this way, devotional service is practiced. And it is simple and very practical. Just like we're saying, chanting of the holy name, attentive chanting, is very difficult. If it is about fixing the mind on the name, extremely difficult. Mind tends to go 3 times around the universe and then goes back home for a cup of tea. That's the mind. And meanwhile, you're chanting, so it is difficult. What to do with that mind? Therefore, it is said, we are attentive chanting means to hear oneself chanting. So again, we're approaching it through the senses. Hearing, okay. Hearing is something, okay, you know when you're hearing, you know when you're not hearing. So you're trying to hear. And then the mind automatically becomes controlled. So this is the secret of devotional service, to engage the senses in service of Krishna. Somehow or other. And then it works. So, Yat karusi, yat asnasi, yat juhusi, dadasi, yat yatapasyasi konti yat tat karushva mad arpanam. It is said, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you say, whatever austerity you perform, do that as an offering to me. It's okay, it's just the nose. The rest one looks so compassionate. Huh? Yeah, that will come. We'll do it. Oh yeah. I didn't forget them. So we wear neck beads also, because They help us to remind us who we are in our identity. They remind us. They also protect us. Some people say we're wearing neck beads because it's said that at the end of life they will protect us from the Yamadutas. Okay, but that's not the main reason for wearing neck beads. We're wearing neck beads because they're Tulsi, and Tulsi is a pure devotee. In this way we have constant association with a pure devotee. And we hope that we will also develop some bhakti, that we will also become purified. That is our hope. So, in the beginning, there's a lot of emphasis on cultivation of devotional service. Yeah. It comes automatically. How? By association with Krishna. Either Krishna directly or things related with Krishna. As simple as that. When we associate with Krishna or things related to Krishna, then automatically we become Krishna conscious. That's why pictures of Krishna on the wall. This building, it was not always a temple. I will not tell you what it was before. I don't want to spoil the party tonight. But it was not always a temple. But now some of you are curious what it was. Padmanabha knows. Me too. Because I was here when they bought this temple. I was visiting. And it was bought together also with the farm in Chestnut, you know, like what you call it nowadays? Nugoko. So, the president of this temple, I was visiting, he took me to Nugoko farm, and then on the way, he was driving, and he got tired. And then he said, "Oh, can you drive?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." So then I'm driving, and then after a few minutes he says, "Nice car, isn't it?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, it's okay." He said, "You want to have it? You can be the president of the farm." I didn't go for it. Sorry. It was a nice car, but not that nice. You know. Anyhow, it was a nice farm also. But I went back to Vrindavan, which is nicer. And no one can argue with that. And there you don't need a car. I had one pair of chappals, and that was enough. So, that's another way. Simple living. If we make our life so complicated, we want all the best of the best, and nothing less. Oh yes, best dress, best. And you have to pay for it. Best. And he wants best car. And you have to pay for that. Because both have to work these days. And that's how it is. Anyway, so many things. That's a distraction. Of course, we all need something. That's fine. But simple living helps also. Less distraction. And then simply absorbing ourselves in associating with Krishna. That's why the temple is important. That is why the pictures are important. Prabhupada used to call them windows of the spiritual world. Therefore, sometimes I'm in a room which has windows, this one doesn't have windows. But then I say, if you look out of the window, what you see is a picture. And when you look at the painting, what you see is reality. So in your home also, you can hang more pictures of Krishna, and that's the reality. That's the window to the reality. And what you see through your window of glass, that is the picture. That is the illusion. That is just false. That is not real. So yes, like that. Then I was saying, we are chanting, we are beginning to read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, we go to Vrindavan, we get to know the ISKCON Swamis and their temples, and we begin to see how they were part of developing Vrindavan. We read some of their books, and then we go to Mayapur, and there in Mayapur we go to the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and there we connect with our recent acharyas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, that was like, 1850. That's only yesterday, practically speaking. His son, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, such a transcendental personality. We connect there with all our recent acharyas. Vrindavan has been excavated in the last 500 years, and different sampradayas of Vaishnavas settled there. The Gaudiyas are there, the Nimbarkas are there, everybody is there. But in Mayapur, it's only the Gaudiyas, it's only us. That's our place, because that is being excavated, developed now by the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, in each of these places we make connections. Not just going to see the places and taking some pictures, but we actually make connections. Connections that last in our spiritual life. In this way, over the years, there's more and more to discover. There's enough to discover for a lifetime. I think you are artistic. You make paintings also.
Mainly sewing and...
Sewing?
Yeah.
You can sew for the deities there. Yes. Somehow or other, we make relationships with Vrindavan. Some people, they sow a seed of Tulsi, and then sew a skirt for Tulsi, and then worship Tulsi at home. And through that, they develop a deep relationship with Tulsi. And through Tulsi, their whole life changes. Just simple things like that. So it is about all these relationships, to bring in all these things in our life. When Tulsi is at home, the house will change. We hope. लेकिन कोई प्यास और लहसुन और कोई चीज़ नहीं रहेंगे. That was a private. So, in this way, we're speaking of cultivation. And cultivation means making relationships, actually. So Krishna consciousness is not a decision. It is not, I'm going to be Krishna conscious. And today, I'm very nervous, because today I'm taking initiation and I'm really hot, although the fire hasn't been lit yet. Oh my God. And on this day, yes, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. I will. I'm very sure. Definitely. Absolutely. Made up my mind. I'm gonna do it. Okay. But that sounds a little bit like, on the 1st of January. That's not so easy. In that way, it's difficult. It takes more than that. We have to actually take shelter. Take shelter. So that's what I've been speaking about. Taking shelter of Krishna and all the things related to Krishna. Discover them. All these books. Yes, why not? Why not read them? Why not? Prabhupada wrote them. We can read them. A little bit every day. And then, after a while, the little bit will grow. You start reading a little every day. That's why I always say to people, take a book, actual book, not a phone, but a book. They have these jokes, where one kid has a book and he says, my grandfather gave this to me, and the other kid says, wow, that's far out. How do you turn it on? I mean, so a book, right? A real book, open on the table. It's just there, it's lying there, and telling you, read me. It's ready to read. Have such a book in your house. Put it open on the table. Just there. And whenever you walk past, stop. Read one verse, one purport. Only one verse. Only one purport. No one can say, I have no time. Everyone has time for one verse, one purport. Even if it's the last thing you do before you go to bed. It's only 5 minutes. You can do. That we can do. It's like, and if we do, then after time it becomes a meditation. It actually will grow in us. Yeah. So just this one verse, one purport, that you can do. Yeah? In the morning, in the evening, whenever, middle of the day, one verse, one purport, every day. Not much to us. Like this, we can, just watch the time. Okay, time is flying. So like this, we can advance over time, little by little. Like, you have to go to, I said Vrindavan, you also have to go to Jaipur. Have you been to Jaipur? No. Oh. Have all of you been to Jaipur? You saw Govindaji? You saw. See, Govindaji is very nice. And in Jaipur, in the temple, it's all the old people that are doing the kirtan.
Govinda, 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 Govinda.
And they're very fired up. Yeah. I was there, there was some old lady that was pulling my cloth, you know. So I go, what's this, you know? Some lady pulling my cloth. And she pulled again. I thought she wanted some money, so I said, you know, hey, not in the temple. Then she pulls again, and she takes out these little binoculars and gives them to me, says, look at the deities. So I'm looking with the little binoculars at the deity, and then I saw that Govindaji had a watch. In those days, in India, if you didn't have a watch, you were a nobody. Now it's a phone, but then you had to have a watch. If you didn't have a watch, who didn't talk to you? So Govindaji had a watch, yes. And then it became a whole thing. Then Gopinath also had to have a watch. All the deities in Jaipur then had watches. Yeah. Anyway, I saw it with the binoculars. So it was nice. So much devotion. When they throw the water, here they throw a few drops, but there they throw liters. You're drenched. Yeah? Liters. And you know what the local people do? As the water is thrown off the altar, they open their mouths. You catch it. I mean, it's amazing. It is. And then in the end, they all run to the side, they give out tulsi leaves, and everyone is just reaching, and then they give out, then you can buy some Mahaprasadam on the side, and then, instead of taking that Mahaprasadam and hiding it all, they distribute it. They just all distribute it. And it's really nice. So it's such a nice temple. And it's our temple, because these are the deities of Rupa Goswami. They came from Vrindavan. And there's still a big painting of Gonitai on the side. Oh, you have not been to Jaipur. I took you to Jaipur just now. But you go again. Maybe I'll take you. I'm planning actually this year to do a parikrama and to include Jaipur. Starting on the 1st of November to the 12th of November, I'll go to Jaipur as well. So will you come this year? November, 1st of November? Chalega. Yeah, so somehow or other, in this way, we are constructing a spiritual life. So initiation is the foundation. And then on that, we build a spiritual life. Not just, otherwise it doesn't happen. No? You have to construct that whole spiritual life. You make all these relationships. If you don't make a connection with the Goswamis, so incomplete. Good. After me. Yeah. You go to their temples, you read their books, and then you go back to their temples, and then you have a relationship. Like this. Yamuna. You have to go to the Yamuna. And if you go a little upstream from Vrindavan, then you find beautiful white sand. And it's described that the residence took place on such silver white sand on the banks of the Yamuna. I can take you to places where you can see. Like this, we get absorbed. Not just, so Krishna consciousness is not just a matter of us doing it at home in the middle of the crazy world we live in, and somehow or other, I have to be Krishna conscious. And I took initiation, and then, I don't know, but boy, is it hard. No, we have to make an effort. Make your house a holy place. Put pictures of Krishna on the wall, but not just pictures of Krishna. Put pictures of Krishna on the wall that you love. Find pictures that you really love, and those ones you put on the wall, and so that every time you see that picture, you go like, God, I love that picture. And every day you're walking through your house and it's full of pictures that you love. So God, you might even start to love the house and everything. No, it becomes a holy place. So make it really a holy place. Pictures, music, like that. In that way, our Krishna consciousness will automatically flourish. Then it's not a struggle anymore. Then it just becomes natural, very natural. So that's what I wanted to explain, that by bringing more and more Krishna in our life, we naturally become attracted to Krishna, because Krishna is all attractive. Okay, that's my idea of the focus tonight, and with that, I give you these blessings. The lecture is recorded, videoed, filmed, and everything, so you can watch it again later on when your mind works better than tonight. Now we're coming to the point where you're going to change your neck beads, and she is as ready as anything. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
You chanted beautifully. They'll chant it for you. And it's very nice to have friends, right? In Krishna consciousness. I think it's one thing we really need, friends. So I'm glad that you're friends. That's good. So you can come here and offer your obeisances. Yes. Okay. So what are the four regulating principles to follow for the rest of you?
No meat, fish, no eggs, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex.
And how many rounds you promise to chant every day?
A minimum of 16 rounds.
So I want to give you a name that relates to that cultivation, you know, and how you like always watering, you're always cultivating. So I'll first give you the name and then I'll explain what it is. Okay. I don't know how you got the beats so back.
Linseed oil.
God, that's a powerful linseed oil. Anyway, here they are. From this day on, you will be known as Abhideya Devi. So we have, in devotional service, we have Sambandha, where you make the connection with the process. Then we have Abhideya, which is the process of cultivation. And then, I'm going to write it down for you. Don't worry. And then you have Prayojana, which is like love of God and everything to do with that. So your name is Abhideya, which I like. It's a nice name. Hope you like it too. And Abhideya is a wonderful meditation. If somehow or other we can always just cultivate remembrance of Krishna, bring more Krishna into your world, into your life, and automatically you fulfill this purpose of Abhideya. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah, you can sit there and I'm coming on the other side and then we're going to stoke a little fire. I'll take my socks off. That's about it. Although generally we don't wear wool in ceremonies, I have a cold a little bit, so I'm going to definitely keep my wool on. And this is cotton. This also actually, this is a cotton sweater, so there's no wool at all actually. Yeah. Pure cotton, all bone cotton.
Timurandasya Yanandana Salakaya Chakshu Unmilita Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Swaha Shri Chaitanya Manovista Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Swapadantika